Hello everyone, welcome back to the Crafty Maven Getaway. It's Caddy and I am sharing another process video for you guys, and today it is Art Party Friday. So I thought I'd try out a technique that I saw on Pinterest a while back, and I really wanted to try it out. So I'm starting off with just tissue paper, and this is just inexpensive tissue paper that I have from wrapping. So I take the tissue paper, you just bunch it up just like I did there. And I'm taking a white piece of cardstock and I'm going to add Mod Podge to it. So, and the Mod Podge is going to act as an adhesive. So, I'm going to place it down, and then what you want is to kind of place it down without sort of straightening it out. You don't want the crinkles to go away. You want to keep the texture. So, it turns out really cool. So, I just do piece by piece. I add adhesive piece by piece. That way I have you know, I can kind of control the crinkles and I don't flatten it out too much. So yeah, so that's what I'm doing here, and it was really interesting to see all the texture you get. So this is something I will definitely be doing again. I think this would be something great for art journaling. It would be really fun to do on an art journal, or you could do this for layouts like I'm doing here, but maybe you don't have to do the whole you know, the whole page. Maybe you could do like a diagonal, or you could do a lot of things with this technique, and it's really simple, really simple, and it's really cool. So I was really happy with the way that it turned out, and for the first time that I tried it, I think it turned out pretty well. So I'm just taking my heat tool and drying this whole thing a little bit, and the Mod Podge dries pretty quickly, so it doesn't take all that long. So I'm going to start with some mist here, and I'm going to mist the background. I'm going to start off with the brown color, and this is from Lindy Stamp Gang, and it is called Cattail Copper Brown. And then I'm going to take another Lindy Stamp Gang, and it's called Fuzzy Navel Peach. And the pink one is from Shimmers. It's called, it's a spritz, and it's called Cotton Candy. So I just added those, and I'm just taking a paper towel to kind of blot out the colors, and I add some water to it. Just to kind of help with the blending of the colors. And then I do add another Lindy Stamp Gang color. It's called Chateau Rose. It's just a really soft, pretty pink. So yeah, just adding a few colors here in the background. Kind of going with the mood board a little bit. So just to kind of get the feel of the mood board. But I really love how this turned out. These colors I like together, the browns and the orangey coral colors and the pinks. It's a really pretty color combination. So I went ahead and took my heat tool again and just dried that, and it doesn't take all that long. I didn't do a ton of misting, it was just some light misting, so it didn't really take all that long to dry. So I'm just taking my scissors, and you want to make sure that the tissue is dry when you cut around it, because there were a couple of areas that were a little bit wet, so the tissue tends to sort of rip a little bit. So you want to make sure your tissue is dry, and then you just cut around the edges and take off the excess tissue paper on the edges of the paper. So that's the finished look. So once I had that done, I took gelato, and this is just a light blue, like a sky blue gelato, and you want to do this, the idea is to do it in a contrasting color so that it really pops off the page, and you could really see that texture come through. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just taking a light sky blue gelato, and I'm just kind of painting over. I'm not pressing it too hard because you don't want to get into all of the paper. You just want to kind of accent the little grooves and the little wrinkles in the page. So I think that looks really cool. This is definitely something that I will do again. So I took out this photo, which is the one I'm going to use, and those flowers. The flowers I fussy cut from a paper. It was a pattern paper by Recollections from Michaels, and it's just one of those cheap, thin, inexpensive papers that I had in my stash, and I actually fussy cut all the flowers on it because I was never going to use the whole thing. Plus it was super thin paper, so I thought the flowers themselves would make better embellishments. The photo itself is from our trip this past summer. We went to Hawaii, and this was on Oahu. We were just out riding horses that day, so it was a nice day, and we just stopped at a pretty spot, and the tour guide took a photo of us. So it's just a nice photo of us horseback riding in Hawaii. So I kind of play around with the placement of the flowers and the title. And I'm going to fuss with the title quite a bit because it just was not making me happy. I just was not, I don't know, it just, the title itself wasn't, I like it to kind of nestle in with the embellishments or with the photo, and it just was not doing that for me. So you're gonna see me fuss with this a little bit, but first I'm fussing with my flowers because I want to get them to a point where I'm happy with them. And some of the flowers I do use fun foam just to raise them up. I am loving using fun foam lately. It's a really inexpensive way to add dimension to your projects rather than using a bunch of pop dots. So I'm going to add a few layers kind of flowers coming up from the bottom there and on the top right hand side. I took this piece of coral colored diagonal stripe. It's actually a glassine bag from Spiegelman Scraps, and I just had that laying around in my stash, so I do use that. And I'm going to use a flare badge, not that floral one that I have there, that one that I just pulled out with the camera. I'm going to end up using that one, and it's going to end up being right about there where I placed it, so it's going to be kind of tucked underneath the photo there because I did add fun foam to the photo as well. So I'm just going through my embellishment boxes here. I have my embellishments color sorted, not all of them, just some of them. So I just pulled out the boxes that coordinated with this color scheme that I had going on here. So yeah, and then I'm just gonna get my flowers placed down again, just to kind of look you know, the way that I picture them or the way that I want them to look. You kind of have an idea in your head when you start doing this, even though when I did start this I had no idea what I was doing. I was just trying out a technique, but you know, you kind of have an idea of how you want things to look or how you want things to lay, and you know, you just have to kind of work at it and move things around until you get to that point. So that's what I'm doing here. And then I'm just adding those flowers down there, and then I'm going to add these here to the top right hand side of the page as well, and just do the same thing, just pop them up on foam, fun foam, so that they could have dimension. So that just takes me a minute to do that and pop that up. And just adding some more leaves to that little cluster up there. So once I have that done, I added some of those leaves. You see the white leaves, those are just cut files that were sitting on my desk, so I just added them in there. I decided I'm going to switch out my title. I'm going to use the sunshine. I'm going to use it at the bottom underneath the photo. Thought about using these, which are bingo chips from Thickers. They were like a corally, I think a dark coral color, and then the centers are kind of off-white. But I didn't like them. You're going to see me mess around with them, but in the end I don't like them, so I don't keep them. So yeah, there you go. I thought about maybe making another title, like riding, or horseback riding, or riding horses. super creative, I know, but I don't end up using them. And they don't look bad, and from this angle, sometimes when you have the layout, you're working on it, you don't realize that something looks good until you're looking at the video and you're playing it back and you say, oh, that looks pretty good. But you know what, I didn't do it, and that's okay. It doesn't look bad though. So I thought about using writing. What was I gonna write? Writing and sunshine, I think I was gonna write, but then it just didn't make sense to me, so I don't end up using that. And I am going to use those sort of little leaf sprigs that are in the Paige Evans Take Me Away, which is that where that sunshine and all those letters, or those foam thickers are from, the word thickers. So I'm just adding a little bit more of gelato here. Just wanted a little bit more of that blue, and it goes really well with my photo because there's a lot of blue in the sky of my photo. So the blue really kind of adds a nice touch to the layout. So then I decided I wanted to add fabulous. So my title is Fabulous Sunshine. And that's it. I just added a few of the hearts from that same puffy sticker word pack. and those little sprigs. So that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!